Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Fans of Bachelor Nation eagerly anticipated the release of a new season of Bachelor in Paradise for almost 2 years. After the show was paused in 2023, Season 10 debuted in early July. However, the new season has received a lot of criticism from spectators thus far. The network made some significant modifications to the show in an attempt to bring the spin-off back to life. After years of filming in Mexico, Season 10 was shot in Costa Rica. Fans referred to the show's sleeker production style as a low-budget imitation of Love Island. The couples on the show thus far, however, are arguably the source of the greatest dissatisfaction. In week 5, many of the couples that were still together hooked up early and never tried dating other competitors. Despite going on dates with other individuals, Bailey Brown and Jeremy Simon consistently reunited. To find out if they survived to the end of Paradise, continue reading. On Jen Tran's season of The Bachelorette, Jeremy Simon was one of the suitors. He developed a close bond with Jen and was popular with the audience. But after a horrible hometown date, she sent Jeremy home because she felt closer to the other participants. For a second chance at love, both Bachelor Nation stars appeared on Bachelor in Paradise. However, after making contact with Bailey, Jeremy agreed to go on a date with Susie Evans. Susie eventually left the show due to her problems with her ex-boyfriend, Justin Glaze. Bailey, meantime, agreed to go out with Andrew Spencer. Jeremy asked the producers to call Susie while she was away. He pleaded with Susie to return. Jeremy even promised the other competitors that if Susie came back, he would pop the question. Last week, Bailey and Jeremy's relationship became sultry and obscene. By exchanging a piece of gum during a kiss, the two repulsed the fans. The two appear strong in spite of the repulsive behavior. However, how long? The truth: for years, Steve has been ruining Bachelor Nation shows. Details on the conclusion of Season 10 were revealed by his sources. The informant said that Jeremy and Bailey were among the couples who left the beach together. However, if Bailey sees what transpired between Susie and Justin during the phone call, that might change. After that, do you think Bailey would remain with him? Post your thoughts in the comments section. After nearly 2 years without a new season, fans of Bachelor Nation rejoiced when ABC finally confirmed the return of Bachelor in Paradise. But the celebration was short-lived. When Season 10 premiered in early July, expectations were sky-high. Unfortunately, the response was anything but. For a series built on sun-soaked hookups, romantic misfires, and tequila-fueled chaos, the new season felt oddly subdued. Longtime fans, many of whom had watched the spin-off faithfully since its debut in 2014, found themselves tuning out after just a few episodes. The first major change came in the form of location. Gone was the familiar beach resort in Sayulita, Mexico, with its signature wooden palapas, crabs scurrying across the sand, and Wells Adams slinging drinks behind the bar. In its place, a rainforest resort in Costa Rica. From the first sweeping drone shots of the mountainous terrain and misty canopies, viewers felt something was off. Instead of evoking the steamy, messy energy of past seasons, the new setting came across as overly sanitized and oddly staged. On Reddit and X, formerly Twitter, fans mocked the rebranding as Love Island, Costco Edition. The show had traded grit for gloss, and lost its soul in the process. Production changes didn't stop there. Episodes were shorter, confessionals were heavily scripted, and the soundtrack leaned more on generic pop than the ironic guitar plucks fans had grown to love. There was even a distinct lack of beachside antics. Gone were the coconut chugging contests, mud wrestling dates, and impromptu dance parties. In their place? Polished dinner dates under sterile white cabanas and moody rainforest hikes that felt more suited to Survivor than Paradise. But perhaps the biggest issue, as many pointed out, was the cast itself. The couples, for lack of a better word, or boring. By week 5, it became clear that the show was lacking its usual rotation of romantic shakeups and unpredictable love triangles. Several couples, including Jess Edwards and Spencer Conley, locked in early and refused to entertain other suitors. While some fans admired their loyalty, others felt it defeated the purpose of the show. "Why are we watching Bachelor in Paradise if no one's willing to date around?" one fan wrote. "They might as well have called it Bachelor Couples Retreat." One pair that perfectly embodied this criticism was Bailey Brown and Jeremy Simon. Jeremy, who made a splash during Gen Tran's season of The Bachelorette, was an early fan favorite. He had the kind of dry wit that worked well in confessionals, a charming smile, and a sincere vulnerability that won Jen over, at least until hometowns. Their romantic momentum came to a screeching halt after a disastrous visit to Jeremy's hometown of Charleston. Jen had been cordial with Jeremy's tight-knit Southern family, but she later admitted in her confessional that she didn't see herself fitting into his life long-term. Jeremy was devastated when she let him go, and fans were equally heartbroken. His appearance on Paradise was seen as a redemption arc. But it turned messy, quickly. Bailey Brown, who had briefly appeared on Zach Shallcross's season of The Bachelor, returned to the franchise this summer hoping to shed her image as forgettable. Instead, she became one of the most talked-about contestants of the season, though not always for the right reasons. Bailey and Jeremy connected almost instantly during the first week. They were seen flirting by the pool, cuddling in the new jungle cabanas, and whispering inside the reflection chamber, an absurd production gimmick designed for one-on-one talks. For a while, their bond looked solid. But when production introduced new women, including fan favorite Susie Evans, everything changed. Jeremy accepted a date card and invited Susie out almost immediately, which left Bailey blindsided. Fans were quick to point out that Susie, who hadn't appeared on a Bachelor Nation show since breaking up with Justin Glaze after The Bachelor, after the final rose, wasn't looking to date seriously. In fact, Susie's entire vibe this season was exploring but emotionally checked out. Still, the Jeremy-Susie date aired in full and ended with a long, complicated conversation about their pasts, their exes, and what they wanted going forward. While Jeremy and Susie shared a kiss, it was clear their chemistry paled in comparison to the tension she still had with her ex, Justin Glaze, who had arrived at the beach just 2 days prior. By the next episode, Susie was spiraling. She was seen walking away from the camera crying, and later, sitting with a producer, questioning whether she should leave. Her exit wasn't shown in full, but viewers learned from the other cast members that she departed to protect her peace. Thanks for watching. If you likes this video, do not forget to subscribe my channel and do not miss any update.